Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahe Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Deva Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sat Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sat Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sat Gurave Namaha. So some days just get busier than others. Sometimes I'll have my yoga class from 9 to 10, and then I have a satsang at 11. And I'm teaching the Bhagavad Gita or some other scripture. And so you want to have showered before you do, and just the tradition, uphold it. And so run into shower, come out, and then you think, okay, I'll multitask. And so put something in the oven. While that's getting hot, I'll go and do something else. And so we put it in and you rush off. And then of course, the phone messages and somebody wants something urgent. And so still in the oven, going off to do the urgent task for that person. Okay, sorted, that's sent, that email sent, that message is sent, dealt with. And then you come back, okay, it's not quite hot yet. Doorbell rings, you rush and you get the doorbell, then you come back. By this time it's burning. So you grab the mitten, you open, you take it out and, come back to the door and you finish the conversation with the person, send them off, the deliveries are all done. You come back and you remember that, oh, there's the link has to be on because people will be waiting. And then you go back and you think, okay, I'm going to eat quickly before I have to get into the class. And you hold the dish to bring it closer to you. I held the dish to bring it closer to me, and ouch. And now burnt. And there's a swelling red blister, which is pulsating. This is made up, right? You don't have to look so horrified. My hand's fine. Although it has happened. Okay. So now I have this horrible burn. Is it karma? No? The burn.
Is the burn karma?
Is the burn karma? I have a few no's. I have a few confused faces. Okay, you're thinking about it. Great. Am I a bad person? Not me. Any person who got burned because they were multitasking and rushing around and bad time management, and they held the dish because they forgot it was hot and they burnt. Are they a bad person? No. Is it punishment? Are you sure it's not punishment? There's this horrible, painful burn. It's a lesson? Anyone else? Okay, but y'all convinced it's not, I'm not being punished. Y'all convinced I'm not being punished. Y'all not so convinced that I'm a horrible person. Let's go back to my first question. Is it karma? I have one yes. Online people, is it karma? Every action has a reaction or another action. I'm not sure. Cause effect, no, could be. Partially, it's partially karma. Okay, so we have a lot of answers. Let me make it super clear. Yes, it is karma. What did I do to deserve the burn? I touched a hot dish. Am I a bad person? Is it punishment? Have you all understood what I'm trying to say? Okay, so when there is an action, it will have a consequence. There's been many times when I have very successfully touched the hot dish with a mitten, with a towel, with a something, and not gotten burned. Because I understand if it's hot, it's going to burn. Even though I understand if it's hot, it's going to burn, this time I got burnt. So even having the knowledge, I still got burnt. So why? I forgot. I was multitasking, was rushing around, stressed, all of the above. Come back to, is it punishment? This bit I want to be super clear on. It's not punishment. Is it karma? Yes. What's the action? I touched a hot dish. Consequence, I got burnt. Hinduism is called Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan is eternal. Dharma in this context gets translated as laws, universal laws. In the world of science, we have formulas and formulas? Equations, very good, right? And so based on the formula, you can work out the solution. So you can have any number of problems using the exact same formula. I can find the solution to all those problems. Apply formula to problem, voila, situation, solution. It's pretty much the same thing with Hinduism. We have universal laws. These laws work all the time for all people at all places. If we understand the law and if we understand how to use it, we can live our lives avoiding unpleasantness, suffering, hurt. Although I don't know how much we can avoid it totally because it is a part of life. But we can definitely be a little bit more prepared for it and equipped in our understanding. So there are so many laws, but most of us know this one. Which one? The law of karma. And what's the law of karma exactly? And people will say it in different ways. Somebody's already said it on the chat, and it was cause and effect. Cause and effect is one of the ways in which to explain the law of karma. The action becomes a cause, and there's an effect. Touch hot pot, effect burnt. Somebody mentioned every action has a reaction. This is also correct, but more specifically, Newton explained every action has an equal and opposite reaction. When Newton explained it, he's talking about force, but that applies to the law of karma as well. Because it's a law, it applies to everything. Yeah? So when I do an action with a certain amount of force, then that same amount of force comes back. Equal is in terms of the amount of energy in which I put into it. And we can also think about it in terms of the intention. So the force is not just my emotion or the physical energy and the enthusiasm or the anger or the passion with which I do the action. It's also my calculation, and it's also my how aware I am and conscious I am of the ripple effects that are happening. So equally, it comes back to me. Opposite is that I go from me into the world outside. Opposite means from the world outside, it comes to me. So my actions go from me outwards. Reaction comes from somewhere outwards to me. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Okay. What is this reaction? We seem to have misunderstood the reaction to be somewhere in some previous life I did something, and then this life now I am suffering. And it's interesting that we think of it only when we suffer. But even all the good things we have in our life, we're born into a beautiful family, we have health. Sometimes people are born with an amazing voice. That's good karma. Intelligence, creativity, talent, and an athletic ability. All of it's karma. In fact, the scriptures go to the detail of the shape of our nails is karma. So everything, our looks, our weight, our height, our color, our personality, our intelligence, our sense of humor, all of it. People liking us, people not liking us, our charmingness, our lack of charmingness, our bluntness. Okay. So it's all from a last life? No. What's from last life? What you're born with. What you're born with is the body, is your parents. There's a certain aptitude that we are born with, right? Some of us are more shy, some of us are more, I'm here, look at me. Does that stay the same our whole life? Sometimes and sometimes not. So even though we come with it, we can change it. And we don't have to wait for next life to change it. Somebody who's very shy can learn and even give talks to a big room full of people. So karmas are the baseline when we are born. Those things, of course, we cannot attribute. So just when a baby is born, there's nothing that baby's done. And so, of course, whatever the baby is born with has come from a previous life. Because they pretty much ground zero, they haven't done anything. They cry, they poo, they sleep. Nothing else. You can't put, not much karma happening. But then after that, a lot of what is happening is this life. A lot of what is happening to us is this life. And a lot of our karmas actually come quite quickly back to us. Maybe within the day, week, month, year, we don't very often have to wait for next life. Okay, I'll explain one more example. Some of you have heard their example. Very well-intentioned person starts gymming, starts going to yoga. So this well-intentioned person who goes to the gym, watches, reads the instruction of the machine, and then does. And then 3 months after has knee injury. Why is the knee so? They use the machine wrong. Yeah. And so now they have this bad knee. Is it karma? I said yes. 3 months they did action. What is that? It's karma only. For 3 months they went to the gym and used the machine. That is karma. Are they a bad person? Are they being punished? Is their knee bad? Why? Usually when something happens, we think, what horrible thing did I do to deserve this? So what was the horrible thing I did? Yeah, a wrong technique. Usually born out of ignorance. Had they known the right technique, they would have easily avoided the knee injury. So what was their fault? Ignorance. What was their intention? Very good. Wanted to go gym to be healthy. Shouldn't that intention have paid off? It should have, right? But who's at fault here? Very good intention, very nice person, doing very nice thing. And the outcome is, ouch. And please note, it's not punishment. It's ignorance of how to do. Very often when things happen to us and we think, why? It's because we don't realize there's something that is lacking or maybe not so smooth in our techniques. Which technique? What technique? Usually in our thinking. Yeah. So even person who went to gym, where was the flaw? In not finding out the right way to do it. Maybe person was conjuiced to get personal trainer. Maybe. So what was his fault, her fault? Conjuicy. Why does he have bad knee? Conjuicy. Okay, let's say no, not at all conjuice. In fact, very happily spends on anyone and anything. Why didn't they get training or find out the right technique? Maybe too proud. I know what I'm doing. Nobody has to tell me what I'm doing. Maybe. Mhm. Maybe not even too proud, maybe a little bit proud. Of course, I can do this. This is simple. I can handle this. So cool, proud, not obnoxious, proud, cool, proud. Doesn't matter the reason. Whatever that personality characteristic it is that made them do it, it led to bad knee. Action led to consequence. And why did I do that action? It would have been something in my thinking. Let's go back to me getting burnt. Why did I get burnt? Here it's not ignorance. I know very well not to touch hot. And yet I touched, and yet I got burnt. What was the flaw here? What was the mistake here? What was the horrible thing here? Hmm? Carelessness, rushing, multitasking, forgetfulness, unalert.
Distracted. Yeah.
Huh? Sorry?
Distracted.
Distracted. Is distracted being, is it a crime? But the result will still come. This is all that karma is. Action will lead to result. Somewhere along the line, people have understood you did something bad and something bad has happened. You know, really speaking, it's such a heartwarming story that I have heard. A lady would dream of the Lord every day. She wanted to make sure that she's really dreaming of God and not just, all of us want to be thinking we're dreaming of God. And am I really dreaming of God? So she goes to the priest at the local church and she said, how will I know? Is this really the Lord giving me his vision every night? Because it feels so amazing. And so the priest said, well, we can test. And so she thought, that's a wonderful idea, because I don't want to know. And should I be thinking I'm blessed, or should I be going to a psychiatrist? I want to check. And so the priest thought, okay, well, let's ask God a question that nobody else on this planet would know the answer to except me. And so the question is, what sin did I commit last week? When he appears tonight in your dream, please ask him this, and then we'll know if it's God or not. And the priest is having palpitations, thinking if it's really God and God really answers, she's going to know what he did last week. She comes back the next morning and the priest is still very anxious about what's she's going to say. And he says, well, did you ask? And she said, yes, I did. And what did he say? He said, I don't remember your sins. Why do you? The word God-fearing is something I learned very later in my life. And even when I first heard the word, I was very, it really made it, I noticed it. Like, why would somebody say God-fearing? Is God someone to be feared? No, not at all. But we fear unpleasant situations. And of course, we fear suffering and horrible circumstances happening to us. But if there's no other thing I accomplish in today's talk, what I really want to emphasize is it's not punishment. That just doesn't feature. Like someone correctly said, it's understanding. It's understanding the law and understanding how to live as by the law. Okay, so there's the action and there's the reaction. And this action and reaction can be broken down further. The reaction is actually twofold. So first thing that happens is there's an outward movement. So let's say even I'm very happy, chirpy, enthusiastic. Reaction, hopefully you'll smile back. You'll be positively influenced by my cheerfulness. So action, reaction. Let's say opposite. I'm very grouchy. And you come in and you say, "How are you? So happy to see me." And I'm like, "Hi." Will that have a reaction? Definitely. And you might be in such a good mood that you look at me and be like, "Why so grouchy? Come on, smile." Or you could be like, "Oh, she doesn't want to see me. Well, I shouldn't have come." Which one will you have? Does it have to do with my action? So action will have a reaction, but the reaction doesn't always have to do with me. Because it depends how you are, right? So one is the reaction that's happening outside. And sometimes the reaction that happens outside is a mirror effect of me. And sometimes it's better than me or worse than me. So if I'm in a bad mood and I say hi, you're in a great mood and you make fun of me for being grumpy, your mood's better than mine and can uplift mine. Be like, okay, I'll smile. So one reaction is happening outside. It can be a reflection of me, may not be a reflection of me. One reaction is happening inside. So I say hello to you, and you say hello back in whichever way you do, and I have running commentary in my head. This person's always so nice. This person really, I don't know why I bother. There's running commentary in my head, right? So the reactions both have consequences. So I can be really nice to you. I can be so proper. I can be smiling. I can be nodding. What's going inside? You don't know. Well, if it's me, you'll know because I'm very transparent, but with other people, what I'm doing outside will have a reaction. What's going on inside will have a reaction. Where does the reaction inside come from? So the reaction outside is coming from outside. What's happening in my thinking? Where does that reaction come from? You'll have to answer. It's not a rhetorical question. Just want to make sure everyone's thinking. No, nobody's thinking. From my vasanas, from my past experiences. Anyone else?
My lack of dislike towards the person I'm meeting, or my made up.
Yes, so my thoughts are happening. Where's the reaction going to happen? So that I smile at you. Where's the reaction going to happen? You'll smile at me. What I'm thinking, where's the reaction going to happen? It goes into my subconscious. It will affect my body. It will affect my mind. All of the above. It will also affect you. Even though you don't know what I'm thinking, it will affect you. Why? Because our minds are very strong. And whoever's mind is stronger will have a stronger effect. How will our mind be stronger? If I have a very strong emotion, my mind in that moment is stronger. So let's say you have no emotion and I am having a huge surge of any emotion, jealousy, anger, sadness, any emotion. You will feel what I'm feeling, even if I don't say a word. Will you be affected by what I'm feeling? Depends on how strong your mind is. It also depends on, remember I burnt the dish because I wasn't paying attention? It will depend on whether I'm paying attention or not. If I'm not paying attention, you will influence me completely. If I'm paying attention, I'll choose whether I want to get influenced or not. Is this karma? Yes. Me being influenced by your mood, whose karma is that? Your karma? I'm influenced by your mood. Whose karma is that? Whoa. Same mine, because I'm allowing you to correct. Yeah. So why am I in a bad mood now? Is it my karma I'm in a bad mood? Yes. What horrible thing did I do? I was not aware and allowed your mood to influence mine. Am I being punished? Am I being punished? Why was I not being punished when I got burnt and now I'm being punished? Why was I not being punished when the knee got injured and I was using that and now suddenly I'm being punished? So if it's emotional, it gets it's punishment? Nahi. No, it's not punishment. It is consequence of action. What action did I do? I accepted your mood. Did I mean to? No, but I wasn't paying attention. Or I'm ignorant. And it's all happening without me knowing. What's the solution to karma? Don't do anything. You can't. Chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says very clearly, we cannot live without acting. We cannot. We are acting every moment of every day and will continue acting for every moment of every day till we have life in this body.
So we have to live in awareness.
Very good. Spirituality is living in awareness. Solution to karma. 1, awareness. 2, knowledge. How not to burn myself? Practicing the knowledge of don't touch things that are hot. How not to have knee injury? Practicing the knowledge of how to use the machine correctly. How not to suffer when somebody else is having a bad mood? Knowledge of how to be aware and deflect. Learn the technique of deflecting. Learn how to make my mind strong enough that I'm not taking on. Knowledge is crucial. What knowledge? The universal knowledge of the laws that exist and how they influence me. So much of our karma is just this, us bouncing off each other. Is it I did something horrible last life? We won't know. But we know what we're doing this life. Do we? No. Because we're not living in awareness. So let's start with this life. Let's become completely aware of what we're doing this life. Let's adjust and improve and get the consequences we want to get based on the actions we're doing in this life. What we can control, it's foolish not to control. What we can't control, it's foolish to try and control. So what can't I control? What I was born with. Even that, so much of it I can change. I gave the example of shy person can become confident. Yeah. So whatever I can change, change. Whatever I can't, I accept. But there's very little I can't. There's very little I can't change. Okay, I'm going to pause here. I know last time I went over and didn't leave time for question answer. There is a little bit more about karma. This isn't all of karma. This is just intro to karma. And I'll let you all ask questions. I'll take all the questions at once, and then chances are I'll be able to answer a lot of them with one answer. Questions? Ask.
I want to ask one question.
Yes.
Because it's been on my mind. If everything happens is karma, how do we know?
The question was, how do we know we're creating new karmas? And there was one question about karma being in line with dharma. Any other questions?
So we have rituals and prayers and pujas and touch everything under the sun. When I took my daughter to Murabuna and Balaji, I asked the priest, why? What is the significance? And he said, in at Balaji, we're removing past life karma. This was the priest at Balaji. He said that when we do that, we're starting from we're removing everything from the I'm sending good things from the past life. Why isn't there something? Today, it's not your fault in this life if you're doing good and you are good and you and that will
Did you hear the example about me burning my hand? Okay. That was very important as a foundation.
why isn't there some sort of a ritual puja or something to add to all the things that we already do, to kind of ask for forgiveness for past life karmas that we don't know, which could affect us in this life? Because really, when you're paying back for things in this life and you've done nothing but good.
Yeah. Okay, I'll answer. So firstly, I just want to correct the shaving of the baby's hair for the mundan, the one of the reasons we do it. The priest said it was removing past karmas. And so just to clarify, it's removing the womb experience. And the womb is in the past. So he's not incorrect. Past life, no, it's what's going on in the womb. I will just spotlight myself. Yeah. So during the baby being in the womb, for some babies, it's quite traumatic. They very squished in there. And, you know, sometimes the mom is stressed. Sometimes the mom doesn't want. Sometimes, unfortunately, they find out the gender and they disappointed. And all that the baby is experiencing while it's in the womb. And so the skin will drop off by itself as we grow. Every 7 years, pretty much every cell in our body is replaced, but not the hair. So we remove the hair to remove any kind of memory and link to the womb and the possible trauma the baby could have had in the womb. What they born with is their karmas. What we born with is our karmas. And there is no possible way of any loopholes in dealing with our karmas. There is actually, sorry, there is one, but very, 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 very rare. It is said that your guru can remove your karmas. Guru can. Mostly, guru won't. Because they take it, they have to suffer it. So there are stories of when a sick person went to Ramana Maharishi and said, please take my karma. And he said, okay. And literally the sickness is transferred to him. So there's no delete. There's transfer. So it's like, I'm not going to deal with the consequences of my action. You deal with it. So Guru won't take it for two reasons. How much can they take? And so whose will they take? Secondly, usually when the karmas come, that's how we learn and we grow. So taking it is denying you the opportunity of learning and growing. So can I delete? No, because once it's out there, it's out there. It's like when I say something, I can't take it back. I can apologize profusely to you for me having said it, but I can't take it back. You might even forgive me for having said it. And you might have genuinely forgiven me for having said it, but there'll still be that little regret in my heart of why was I so insensitive or cruel or rude or selfish or until I also make complete peace with it and let it go within my heart. And so it's a journey. right? There's no delete. Once it's done, it's done. There will be reaction. Once it's said, there will be reaction. And please note this next point. Once it's thought, it's done. It's an action. Thoughts constitute action. So if you say, I didn't do anything, I just thought it, action. It's going to have reaction. Okay, so is there anything that we can do to delete our previous karmas? Yes. Japa. Japa done with single pointed attention and devotion literally burns previous karmas.
But that's when you're old enough to know how to do that. The baby wouldn't know.
You can do japa at 2. I will show you my Shishu Vihar kids. They are so adorable. They are sitting there doing japa. I have Shishu mums here, they can vouch for it.
You say single pointed and devotion.
Uh-huh.
Devotion,
Yes,
but
those are
single
two very
pointed-
important criteria.
Yes,
Single pointedness and devotion.
So that's very, I mean, devotion, yeah, you could have, but single pointed, the mind keeps wavering.
It's possible when we are watching Netflix. How single pointed we are. Even somebody says our name, we don't hear it. We forget to go bathroom, forget to drink water. So single pointed we are. There's questions. Yes. They want it louder? Audio settings. It's pretty loud. It might be their settings because it's pretty loud.
Questions we ask.
Oh, they can't hear you. I'm repeating whatever they say. Where am I? I am saying that
Single pointed.
single pointedness is possible. It's very, very possible. When we love something, we are so single pointed about it. I have been with grandmoms talking about their grandkids and I try and change the topic. They just won't let me. It will come back. Okay, so how to be able to remove and purify ourselves of previous karmas? Japa. And what japa does is that it helps us to have awareness. And when the mind is pure, it helps us to have or imbibe knowledge. And remember, ignorance is the reason we're making most of the mistakes we are making. Okay. The other question was, when a person's doing action, how do we know it's previous actions manifesting or this is a new karma? It will be both. Something like, I'm giving some examples, but it applies to even more complicated things. I wake up in the morning and I want tea. Is that because of previous karmas? Most definitely. It's because I've been drinking tea in a Gujarati household for the last, whatever, 40 years. In Hong Kong, I make it myself, but yeah, previous to that. Okay, so am I having tea because of past karmas? Yes. Am I creating a new karma? Yes. Is that clear? Right. If I give you tea, Am I creating a new karma? Yes. If I give you praise, am I creating a new karma? If I give you insult, am I creating a new karma? If I give you praise, is it likely that it's past karmas? It is.
Would have done something to deserve it.
No, not you. It's not even your actions. Maybe it's your actions that lead to me praising you. But chances are it's my past karmas of looking for things to praise and being generous with praising. So likelihood that it's my previous karmas that even bring me to the point of wanting to praise. You did something nice, you did your action, that's also good. But remember I gave that example of it's not always a mirror. You are your own person. So I can't affect or influence you, but I can understand what's going on in me. Will I only give praise if you do something nice? That's my personality. Maybe not. I just look for something to praise. I look for good things. Or I don't. I look for things to insult and complain about. Even that is a past tendency. I've made it a habit. Complain, 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 complain. Today, what am I going to do? Complain. Why am I complaining today? Karma. It's my karmas I'm complaining. Whose fault is it that it's my karmas that I'm complaining? Exactly. Okay, so to answer your question, action is past and future. We are sitting on the threshold, and that is why it's so powerful to be in the present moment, because I can adjust what has been happening in the past to change the future. That's why the present moment is so incredibly important. I can just let momentum continue in the direction it's going, or I can actually change. But that can only happen in the present moment, because what's done is done. Okay. What is the role of astrology? Okay. Isn't it unfair to be punished? Really, you asking me, isn't it unfair to be punished? I thought I was so clear. It's not punishment, guys. If you're feeling like it's punishment, you have to understand you haven't yet understood what it is that you have done. And it's not punishment. When I burnt myself getting the dish out of the oven, it wasn't punishment. It was me not adhering to the law.
In most cases, the karma comes. Maybe today, maybe. What happens when it doesn't come so soon?
I'm going to answer that. I just want to finish everything. You said thoughts are actions. Yes, thoughts are actions, but thoughts are not controllable. What? Thoughts are completely controllable. If I don't know how to control my thoughts, that's me not having the understanding of how to do it, but they are definitely controllable. We can stop ourselves from saying what we think because we've controlled that thought. We can even change what we're thinking. We can choose what to think about. Like when we're sitting down to decide which movie we're going to watch, we're choosing what to think about. We can definitely control thoughts. In fact, we wouldn't be able to survive one full day without controlling thoughts. Huh? Not well, maybe a minute we can survive. We daydream and not control the daydream for at least an hour. But a full day, you'd have to control the thought. You'd have to put one thought aside to deal with what's in front of you right now. We can definitely control thought. Okay. I haven't answered why karma, how to know karma is in line with dharma. I can answer that in one very quick line. This is knowledge. We have to study and understand what dharma is to make sure that we are in line with dharma. But also we have to introspect and understand, is this a desire? Am I doing this because I want the outcome? Or am I doing this because it's the right thing to do? If it's the right thing to do and I want to do it, bonus. If it's the right thing to do, but I don't want to do it, we have to choose right thing to do. Okay. One last thing. So it's not punishment because usually it's my ignorance that led to the result. Not I'm a bad person that led to the result. Also, as souls, when we take this birth, we want to learn specific lessons. And when we are born, we forget everything. We forget our previous lives. We forget the lesson that it is we wanted to learn this life. All of it gone. So how to make sure I'm going to learn the lesson? It will have to be through the experiences that I have to go through. That's the only way to make sure I learn the lesson. Who wants to learn the lesson? Me. And I want to make sure I learn the lesson and not get distracted, because I can so easily get distracted. So easily get distracted. Sometimes when people are here in the ashram, people have reminders on their phone now. And their phone will, it's like the alarm or that reminder alert is so loud and the phone starts flashing and it starts vibrating and it's like boop, boop, boop. It's like, I was like, whoa. And they're like, no, it's just to remind me to go pick up the kids. I'm like, okay. Or it's remind me to send this email. It's to remind me to, we all do it, right? We all put reminders on the phone. And that's usually the alarm setting on it. The alarm will go up. Do you know what my alarm is? It's the sound of the harp playing. And it's very soft. So when I hear this jarring alarms that people use to wake up in the morning, I'm like, why would you do that? Like, you'd wake up with the starter. And they reply is, otherwise I won't wake up. When the soul wants me to wake up, and if it knows I'm not going to pay attention to the harp sound, what's it going to do? It's not a punishment. It's the alarm going off to remind me I have to learn a lesson. Those are the things that come from previous life. They're not so many, but they will be. And it's usually the soul that has decided we need this experience to learn this lesson. Which experience? Whatever comes. Which lesson? Only we'll know. Most of the rest of it is just me here, now, doing what I'm doing, getting the reaction of that action. That's karma. That's what karma is. Okay, if there's no other question, I will reply the astrology one. There's one more. Are our karmas intertwined with our children's karmas? Children choose parents. Parents are helpless. Children choose parents. Whatever lesson they come to learn and teach you. Our karmas are intertwined with anyone and everyone we care about or don't like. When we don't like someone, chances are karmas are intertwined. Any strong emotions will create karmas. And remember, I said caused by karmas. And it doesn't have to be last life. It really doesn't have to be last life. More often than not, it's not last life. Okay, so yes, our karmas are intertwined with many, 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 many people. Astrology. Astrology can teach us, if it is done well, sorry, tell us, not teach us. Astrology, if it's done correctly and accurately, can predict only a probability because the future is not fixed. The future is constantly changing by the decisions we make. And so when a child is born, the astrologer will say 60% probability that they will go into the medical field. 40% probability that they will move to another country. 90% probability they will get married. Today's astrologers don't tell you probabilities. They'll tell you you'll get married, move country, and become a doctor. That's not what's astronomy. In my chart, which I only came to know of after I decided to join the ashram, the astrologer was brilliant. The astrologer who did my chart when I was born said 90% she will renounce. 10% she will get married. In the event that she gets married, she will not live like a wife to her husband. That's amazing astronomy. If you can find people like that now, listen to them. If you are listening to astronomer on TV, that's entertainment, guys. TV is entertainment. Future is not fixed. It is constantly changing. So, past karmas, changed by present karmas, create future. That's very important to note, because when we ask questions like, it's not fair that I have to be punished by what happened in last life, hello. Present karmas are altering the path of past karmas. We are not helpless victims here. The beauty of karma is we are empowered to create the future, to take control and change ourselves and the world around us. Karma is to empower us, not to make us feel my karma. Okay. Anybody else? Great. Oh. Sarve bhavantu sakhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukhabhag bhave, asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you, everybody. Harihi Om.